sat in groups, these therapy groups and everything with them, while they were talking about why, they were talking about rapists, murderers, serial abusers of women, and she started to talk to them, and she said, after a while she started to realise these guys are victims as well. Now that is not something that any of us would usually ever dream of thinking, but yet when she started to look at the way that they were talking and all, she started to realise that actually these men had been what she called stiffed, which was that they had been presented with an image of what men are. Men are powerful, men have influence, men have domination over women, men have all of these things, and then when they actually looked at their real lives, they discovered we have none of these things. We don't have power, we don't have influence, the only thing that we have, the only way in which we can dominate women, the only way we can dominate anyone, is by violence against women. And that actually a lot of their violence actually came out of them being, realising that actually, that they, well actually maybe not realising, maybe not internalising it properly, but actually by their weak position in society. And her argument was that whereas women understand that we're put into these boxes, that our oppression puts us into these boxes and we fight to get out of those boxes, and that actually men are told, well, this is the box you're in, and this box is a great box to be in, and because you're supposed to have all this power and everything, and the men don't fight against it, and instead, because they think that they shouldn't be fighting against it, that they should be delighted with their power, and they don't realise that actually they don't have any power at all. And so her argument in Stift, and like I say, it's coming from a woman who started with a huge amount of anger. Her argument is that actually women and men both have been sold a false bill of goods in terms of the way that society says that our different roles are. And her conclusion was pretty much what the conclusion of this meeting should be, which is that we are the 99% who have had, who are being stiffed by an establishment that says that we, have to bail out the banks, that we have to pay for all of their gambling debts, that we are the people who we may reduce all the wealth, but we have no right to have the outcomes of all of that, while that 1% actually keeps it all. And Susan Faludi's conclusion was exactly the same as mine, which is that it is in the interest of men as well as women to fight for a society where women have complete liberation, and where we go back to the kind of equality that there was in the egalitarian societies in which human beings have lived for most of our time on earth. And if you really want to have human nature lived out properly, then it should be lived out in a collective and a communal and an egalitarian way, because that's what human beings are. Thanks.